judge says ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's defense team may examine George Floyd's autopsy, heart tissue, and fluids. The defense asked for the court order as part of Chauvin's appeal, which seeks to test a new theory in Floyd's death. In 2021, a jury convicted Chauvin of murdering Floyd. Chauvin's new defense team argues that a heart condition, not Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck, caused Floyd's death, and they're hoping the examinations can prove their case. The examination could be used as evidence in Chauvin's appeal, as Chauvin argues his lawyer, Eric Nelson, provided ineffective counsel during trial. According to court filings, Chauvin's new attorney, Robert Myers, says a forensic pathologist from Kansas reached out to Nelson and gave his opinion that Floyd died due to a catecholamine crisis, also known as acute heart failure. Nelson reportedly did not consult with the doctor or have any samples of Floyd's heart tissue tested to prove the theory. In an August filing, federal prosecutors claim Nelson made a strategic choice to ignore what they called an untested opinion. Chauvin is serving a 20-year prison sentence. If he's unsuccessful in overturning his federal conviction, he'll remain imprisoned until at least 2038.
Yeah, so they're going to allow them to, they should have did this to begin with, look at it, every possible angle to defend himself. And for whatever reason, his first attorney said, nah, I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to take this route.
Yeah, tunnel vision.
Yeah, but now his new attorney, they're going to let them take a look at his heart tissue and other bodily fluids to determine, because they think he had a heart attack. And that's what killed him.
Well, he has a strong case for saying his former attorney was inept. Unqualified.
Yeah, but he's lost a lot of appeals. Finally, this one is been allowed.
Right.
Yeah.
Because somebody was just a little legal expertise was able to find something that was, that was irrefutable, that could help him get off, and it should have been used in his defense during the trial.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they keep saying his knee was on his neck. His knee wasn't on his neck, it was on his shoulder.
Yeah.
But personally, as a police officer, if somebody's telling me they can't breathe, and they're in some kind of distress, the last thing I'm going to do, I don't care what my training has told me, but maybe I'm talking like a Monday morning quarterback after all the information that's came in. But if somebody can't breathe, you don't lay them on their chest. Right. That compromise, it doesn't stop them from breathing, but it doesn't help either.
Yeah, and it looks bad.
Yeah,
to a novel person.
Yeah, and it's harder to breathe. If you're having trouble breathing, you sit the person up. You don't lay them on his chest and put your knee on the shoulder.
Or roll them to the side. That's the only thing I can nitpick and say.
All your body weight is on the ground, pressing down on your lungs. So it's harder to breathe.
And to his defense, his police academy taught him to do that.
Yeah, it's in their handbook too, right?
Yeah, they was taught to do that.
Well,
and we all know police officers, when it comes to their interaction with the public, they're like robots. They do the same thing. They're very repetitive. They do the same thing over and over. They never actually really think for themselves, and they use that against them during this trial. Somebody that's probably hasn't been trained or hasn't been fed these bad habits will more than likely to roll them over to a side or at least set them up. But don't forget, Floyd wanted to go to the ground. But that tactic he was using, putting his knee on his back, that was to keep him from moving or running, which he already had him handcuffed. I don't know why he just didn't roll him on his side.
That's the way he was trained.
Yeah, no, you got him. I see cops shoot somebody 6 times. They'll go up, the first thing they do is not give him first aid. They will put handcuffs on him.
Well, obviously they shot him because it was a threat. So they're making sure he's not a threat. So after they shoot him 10 times, they'll put the cuffs on. They're robots. That's how they were trained.
That's not common sense.
They could lose their job if they don't follow protocol.
Exactly. And he looked like he was held, looked like he's being punished for abiding by protocol. Well, that's his protocol. He's being punished for it.
I think the real reason they found him guilty,
because he's white?
No, because the whole world would have burned down.
Yeah. Because there was 2 things. The victim is black, the cop's white, and at that point, everything was so was so magnified. If they would not found him killed, I think the whole United States would have burned down.
Oh, yeah, it burned down. Really?
Yeah. There was a lot of pressure on that jury to find him guilty.
Yeah, it takes bravery.
Because think about it, if they would have found him not guilty, that whole jury would have been doxxed. Our addresses, jobs, everything, birth certificates, driver's license, they would have been totally doxxed.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think people have lost their life if he was found not guilty.
Might could have started a race war.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd been real bad. It's gonna be just as bad when they overturn this conviction. Hey, you get a new trial if they allow that. I don't think the powers that be is going to ever allow that. To be honest with you, no matter what comes forward, I don't think they're going to allow it. Do you?
I mean, if you follow the rules of the law and they find something that can refute what happened, like you have to follow it. The lawyers and the judges, they've took an oath to uphold our Constitution and our laws.
Yeah, like you see Biden, he's like pardoning a lot of people, right? And people's like saying when Trump gets in office, he should pardon them. I don't. You think that's a good idea? Trump get in there?
I don't think it's a good idea. I think
he needs to get a new trial.
Yeah.
And all the evidence that wasn't presented the first trial needs to go through. I still think it needs to go through the legal process.
Right. I don't think Trump should pardon him.
I don't think Trump should just go into office.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't.
Well, Keith, if he does that, that's going to hurt J.D. Vance's chances of getting elected president.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because look what Biden doesn't have to worry about. He's pardoning all these people. It's not going to affect him.
Yeah. But it's actually hurting the Democrats in the next election, too. The stuff he's...
Right.
The things, but
you can't say people above the law. The judicial system has to work for Derek Chauvin. Hopefully they give him another trial, and hopefully he has a better, a lawyer that's good at what he does.
I think his first attorney was good.
I don't think so. If it was good, why is he saying he deserves a second?
Yeah, to look at the heart.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. But personally, I know y'all probably like, no, Trump gets in, he needs to pardon him.
We gotta be smart about this.
I mean,
you gotta be smart about that.
Like I would say you have to be brave on the jury to do the right thing. Right. But it's tough.
No, the Republican Party, we have a lot of momentum. Trump's going to be our president, and then J.D. Vance is going to be in office. He's a great chance of having a 2-term president. We could roll back all these crazy stuff Democrats do. Something like that could give the Democrats the momentum they need.
Well, I know Republicans, conservatives say, you're going to sacrifice him?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the blame, I know that's how he was trained, but I used to arrest shoplifters, and I remember in my training catching shoplifters, they told us, elderly people overweight, do not, if they ever on their chest and you're trying to handcuff them after you arrest them, and you're putting a lot of weight, you got to understand you should get that task completed in seconds, because you can actually suffocate somebody by just laying them, a healthy person, just lay them on their stomach, and do you push your body weight on them, and you can actually suffocate them.
Well,
like
it's not
elderly and fat people.
Yeah, it's not suffocate. You can make their heart stop beating. They go into cardiac arrest.
All of that. And I was taught that as a loss prevention agent, arresting shoplifters after they leave the store and they shoplifted.
They said no matter how healthy they are, when you're arresting somebody, handcuff them, don't have them on that chest too long.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, the guy cannot breathe. He said that repeatedly in the video. I think he swallowed drugs. That's what I think. Right. He didn't want to get caught with drugs. That's my theory. Yeah. And that's why the cops showed up.
Right.
Not the cops, but the paramedics. That's why he showed up, because he was in some kind of distress. He couldn't breathe. Why you got him on his chest?
Yeah.
He already can't breathe. You should have just sat him up, and if he's going to die, let him die in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
That's what you should have did.
But remember all the trash they've been saying about white cops? That dude did that on purpose. And I think all the things people are saying about white cops and systemic racism, about white police officers, he's like, you know what? I've been trained to do this. I'm going to do it. I don't care what anybody says. This is what I'm paid to do. This is how I've been trained to do it. I'm going to do it. And it ended up hurting them. Yeah.
You can't be a robot.
Yeah. I still don't think that's what caused his death.
What caused it?
I think he OD'd on drugs.
Yeah, I do too, personally.
I just wish he'd have rolled him on the side or stood him up.
He should have just laid him on the side, sat him down by the car.
Yeah.
Let him sit up. If he want to lay on his stomach, just stand up and just let him sit there.
I've talked to countless number of police officers. People from what George Floyd underlined from, they see that all the time in county jails.
Oh, just dying?
Just people just dying because they
overdose.
Too many drugs in that system.
Yeah. We talked to that one police officer. He said, "Man, if somebody's ODing on drugs and he's saying he can't breathe, we don't roll them on the stomach. We don't put pressure on. We don't push them down. Just trained not to do that."
Right.
So they understood why he got convicted.
What was he found guilty of?
Murder.
Put it up. What was? I want to be clear on this.
He got like 25 years.
Yeah, let's see what he was found convicted of.
It was a murder.
Because if Daniel Penny is not guilty, he's not guilty. Put it up.
That is a fact.
His name is Derek Chauvin.
Yeah. It was murder. They got him for second degree, I think.
Second degree murder?
I think so, yeah.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty of multiple charges related to the murder of George Floyd, including a second degree unintentional murder, third degree murder, second degree manslaughter. How can you charge someone 3 times of one murder? Deprivation of rights under color of law and violating a federal criminal civil rights statute. Chauvin was sentenced to 22.5 years in prison for state charge and 21 years in federal prison for civil. Oh, wow. 40. He's got like 40 years.
I think the max.
He is currently serving his sentence in Arizona. Chauvin was convicted for his actions during the arrest of blah, blah, blah. The arrest led to global protests over racial injustice and police brutality.
All right, I got enough.
So second degree unintentional murder?
Like Penny, he had one charge, but they criminally negligent homicide.
Yeah.
I think in both those cases, in a perfect world, that's what they would have been found guilty of.
Right, but if I'm on the jury of Daniel Penny,
Yeah,
negligent homicide,
I'm not
convicted in a person with no criminal record versus a person
He's
with
just a
criminal
good
record.
Samaritan trying to do the right thing.
And made a mistake, and I'm not going to penalize him for that.
Yeah, because
I put all the onus on the guy who was trying
and
to
our government's not doing anything about it, but you're going to penalize him when you should be penalizing the government.
Right.
Like
Derek Chauvin. I think he was ridiculous for keeping him on his stomach like that, but do you think he's actually...
He's already
guilty?
handcuffed. There's no
need to
I think
restrain
he's.
him.
I think he's. In my humble opinion, I have no experience in being a lawyer or anything, but from a layman's terms, I think he's guilty of criminally negligent homicide.
Yeah.
Criminally. I mean, criminally negligent manslaughter. Something.
What
like
if they find out he swallowed a bunch of drugs?
Nothing. Still should have rolled him over or something. I don't know.
So trying to save him life for taking... I mean...
I wouldn't give him anything. If they found a bunch of drugs and there's evidence and he had a heart attack, he's not guilty of anything.
Yeah.
And if he is guilty of something, it's time served. He's been in there long enough. He needs to be let out.
Right.
We'll see how it plays out. Chauve.